This episode of Tekzilla is sponsored by Carbonite.
We were offered the opportunity to have Adam and Jaime from the MythBusters on Tekzilla. We leaped at the chance. Oh my goodness, welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thanks very much.
So this MythBusters thing, it seems to have turned into a steady gig.
It's pretty steady.
This is exciting.
Yeah, it's steadier than anything I think either of us has ever done. I haven't done
decade, yeah.
For 10 years.
Maybe I think it may be the longest running show on Discovery too. Like,
it's up there.
Absolutely.
It's exciting. Obviously, you guys are shooting next season right now.
We are never not shooting.
You can't talk anything about that.
We can't. Well, we can talk. We just finished attempting to fit 10 pounds of poop in a 5-pound bag. And that's not a euphemism. We're actually attempting the actuality of it.
No, I'm just laughing because I recently used that metaphor to describe parenthood with toddlers to a friend of mine.
Absolutely. It could also describe the landscape of much of television.
Or San Francisco, for that matter. We should talk about, you guys are actually here to talk about Superman.
We are.
And how he would shave for the howdoesheshave.com website.
Yeah.
We should point out y'all are working for Gillette on this
absolutely. Gillette called us up and asked us if we wanted to participate in this. You know, as personalities, we get approached by a lot of companies. One of the things most companies ask us to do is to bust a myth about their product as opposed to their competitors, and we don't do that. We're not interested in doing that. We have our integrity. We want to keep our integrity. So it was actually fantastic when Gillette called us up and asked us just to participate in a thought experiment of how would this mythical fictional character shave his mythical fictional beard. For us, it was a really refreshing change of pace from a normal corporate request, and we're totally happy to play.
We'd like
even if it's a product, you know, it's as a thought experiment, we're always up for that.
Yep.
So it's fun.
So I gotta say, you know, the canon answer to this is that Superman uses a mirror or a sheet of copper. We've seen it where he's basically lasering.
Yeah, he did it in a comic book.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
obviously, you guys, I'm gonna brazenly assume, a dangerous thing to do, that you guys did not go that route.
Well, we started there.
Okay.
That's exactly where we started. I think we were in a car in Utah driving around on a shoot in Monument
Valley. A good
Valley.
place to think, actually.
Yeah, and we just started throwing ideas. So that was, I think, the very first idea that we came up with, and it's the most common one. Then there's kryptonite shaving cream, things like that, kryptonite blades that might, you know, made of very, very thin material.
You have to be careful that he wouldn't kryptonite his face off.
Yeah, you would imagine that it could be.
The penalties for
but the
poor
Kryptonians
attention.
are really good at, you know, they're way ahead of us technologically. They probably figured all that out.
But since we were driving, I was thinking about, I was staring at the highway going off into the distance, and I figured, well, you know, what if he abraded his beard off by flying cheek down along the highway at supersonic speeds, and at the same time he would provide a public service where he's
resurfacing the roads.
Yeah, he would only do this to roads that need to be resurfaced.
This has the advantage of being better than Bill Nye's idea because it's more spectacular. But we threw that out. That wasn't that interesting. I then started to think, like,
I like it.
Well, what if Superman is like bringing some heretofore unknown branch of physics to Earth? Where would he go to exploit some branch of physics that they knew about on Krypton, but we don't know about on Earth? And I figured the Large Hadron Collider, and that's when Jaime came up with the idea of the wormholes.
Yeah, so, you know, you create, since this is like the ultimate technology of mankind right now, it's like, I figured it was only appropriate that the biggest technological challenge, namely, you know, shaving Superman's beard would be appropriate for that, and that LHC would create minute wormholes that could transport the whiskers one at a time to some other galaxy.
But that's a problem, right? Because then you end up with some portion of the galaxy that's just filled with like a Van Allen belt of Superman's stubble that you've got to worry about because, I mean, if you could harvest it, you could make amazing sandpaper, but it could also fly right through your ship.
I hate it when that happens.
And I think, you know, we also went so far as to thinking like that would drain a lot of power from Europe, but, you know, there'd be a trade-off because he'd be giving us Kryptonian technology, you know, like, remember when Scotty gave us transparent aluminum in Star Trek? It'd be like that kind of trade-off.
Yeah, it's all good.
So it's funny. So there's a whole collection of people that are posting on howdoesheshave.com.
Yeah.
You mentioned Bill Nye. Who else has stuff up there?
Well, they approached Kevin Smith, provided an idea. Mayim Bialik.
Did Kevin Smith actually manage to do a video without cursing every 30 seconds? Not that I think Kevin should ever not curse.
I don't know. They probably cut it out.
40 seconds of bleeps and a mention of Gillette and a razor and a face. Like, what did he say? insane.
Exactly.
So you guys have a website you do with a friend of ours, Will Smith, tested.com.
Tested.com.
What's coming up on tested.com?
We've got some more one-day builds. I don't know if anyone has been looking at Tested. I've been doing a lot of builds from the shop, and
They're fantastic.
And been having a lot of fun doing that. Will and Norm are really amazing to work with in that. We also had some videos just go up with Commander Chris Hadfield, now retired Commander Chris Hadfield. Of the International Space Station.
So somebody in the office was like, how could he retire? I'm like, where does he go next? I mean,
Right. Once you've been to space.
Yeah, it's like he's out on top. He's done Major Tom from the space station. I mean, boom, good night. Drop the mic. I mean,
well, so we did a video which we were really happy with, where we sent both Tracy Desjardins of Jardiniere fame here in San Francisco and David Chang of the Momofuku Group to the NASA food kitchen in Houston to concoct meals, delicious gourmet meals using only ingredients they had up on the ISS. And it was a hit with Hadfield. He said the Spacey Tracy burrito was fantastic.
this is a frightening thought. So, can I ask, Android or iOS?
We are both iOS users.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I tried Android. I'm a diehard Mac fan. I'm very excited about the new OS. I think it looks gorgeous.
New OS Mavericks or the new OS iOS 7?
iOS 7.
Okay.
I haven't investigated what Mavericks is looking like, but iOS 7 looks very thrilling.
Better battery power, integrated maps, more shiny. I'm mostly obsessed at this point with the MacBook Air basically having like a 12-hour battery life.
That's pretty stunning.
I'm like, oh.
I also just ordered my Google Glass. I paid for it just the other day, and I'm going to go down and get it in about 2 weeks.
I got a chance to, our CTO has Google Glass. He let me wear it for approximately 40 seconds with his hand near it so I couldn't run away. And it was amazing for me because it was one of the first times in my life I ever did something involving voice recognition where I didn't want to fling the product across the room at the end of the first 5 minutes. Like, I talked to it, it did what I asked it to, and then I just was speechless for about 10 minutes after I handed it back. I was like, wow, it weighs 4 ounces. It sits in your face. It does voice recognition. It actually worked. Oh my God, it actually worked. And then I was just like, oh my goodness, maybe there is a future for Google Glass.
Well, that pairing is kind of profound in its implications in that I mean, if you can imagine having access to, Google's search engine, on your head, or in your head, it's kind of like right there. That's the direction that's going.
It was funny. I was laughing. Kind of not laughing, kind of laughing, because we were talking before we started shooting, because it's been such an insane news week between the NSA and Pandora and E3 and Microsoft and this and that and the other thing. Like, it's funny, while Google's trying to get permission to say they're not evil by getting the government to let them talk about what they're actually collecting, they're also blocking face recognition with Google Glass, which has developers howling this week, which is an interesting thought. Like,
right. Have they explained why they're blocking facial recognition? That seems to me like the killer app with it.
It would seem to be, but apparently they're a little gun shy about that with everything going on with the NSA this week.
I guess given all the difficulty Google has had with unwittingly, or let's say not fully thinking through the data they've been collecting, that it's better if they are on the side of caution.
Yeah, once you've been sued into oblivion for accidentally catching Wi-Fi traffic,
by
maybe
Germany,
capturing,
by a whole country.
That could slow you down. Gentlemen, thank you so much
Thanks
for your time.
very much.
I know you guys have a lot of work to do today because you're shooting the next season. Do we know the premiere date?
It's always going to be in the fall. This current season is still going right now. Tonight we're airing an episode called Crash Cushions, which is actually a stunning one in which we got to create a car accident on a level we've never gotten to do before, and it was actually really educational for both of us.
Yeah, driving at highway speeds right into another vehicle.
And we were doing the driving.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. I assume your eyes were about this big.
It's a rush.
Check tonight's episode. Check Jaime out right after the crash, because he is more like woo than I've ever seen him before.
I can imagine. Well, on behalf of the Tekzilla audience, myself, my sons, and the entire crew, gentlemen, thank you for the MythBusters.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to vote for Adam and Jamie's theory on how Superman shaves at howdoesheshave.com. Right now, we've got to take a moment to thank one of our sponsors.
Don't lose your important documents because you didn't take the time to set up a proper backup plan. Carbonite Online Backup is automatic cloud backup for the computer files at your home office or small business. Just set it up once and Carbonite will protect your computer files so that you can stay focused on running your business. No hardware required. With Carbonite, getting lost files back is easy. Your employees can even access their backed up files on their smartphone or iPad with the free Carbonite app. Carbonite is the better backup plan for your home office or small business. Start your free trial at Carbonite.com with the offer code Tekzilla today, and you'll get 2 bonus months if you decide to buy. That's Carbonite.com, and the offer code for 2 bonus months is Tekzilla.